For most adults, never having to work again sounds like a dream come true. But there are some kids out there who are close to living that dream because of how much money they've already earned. We'll tell you about 10 incredible kids who have earned so much money they won't ever have to work again. First, make sure you get the latest from TheTalko by clicking subscribe and turning on your notifications. Let's get started. Danny Lynn Burkhead. Poor little Danny Lynn Burkhead went through a tumultuous time in her life when she was very small. Her mother was the famous Anna Nicole Smith, who tragically passed away. Her mother's former partner, lawyer Howard K. Stern, was listed as Danny Lynn's father, but soon other men stepped forward to challenge that. Among them was Smith's former lover and photographer Larry Burkhead. After a lengthy and stressful paternity case, it was determined that Burkhead was indeed the father of young Danny Lynn. Even though she was just a baby at the time, she was the sole heir of her late mother's estate valued at $700,000. Although her father hoped that she would inherit an estate worth about $44 million, that didn't end up panning out. But it turns out that Danny Lynn is capable of making more than enough of her own money. She's been modeling since she was 6 years old and got her start working for Guess Kids. Although she's been the focus of constant media attention, she's used that to her advantage to launch her career. Between her inheritance, her own income, and the wealth of her father, it's estimated that Danny Lynn Burkhead has a net worth of $10 million. Although she might never have to work again, we think Danny Lynn might have a hard time staying out of the spotlight in the future. Chandler Riggs. You probably recognize actor Chandler Riggs from his role as Carl Grimes from the hit show The Walking Dead. He's the son of protagonist Rick Grimes, and we got to see him dealing with tons of walkers and tragedies on the show. But we're guessing it was all worth it, since that acting gig made him so rich he never has to work again if he doesn't want to. When he was only 10 years old, he was cast in one of the starring roles when The Walking Dead started in 2010. Now that his role in the show has ended, Chandler has stated that he plans to pursue other acting roles and hopefully star in movies someday. In addition to acting, Chandler has recently begun releasing electronic music on SoundCloud, but if he decided to devote all of his time to SoundCloud, he could do so without ever worrying about where his next paycheck is coming from. Chandler was taking home about $30,000 per episode, which is no small amount, especially for a kid. Now he has a couple $1,000,000 in the bank and is still a teenager with a long career ahead of him. Maddie Ziegler. Madison Ziegler, better known as Maddie, got her start on television when she was only 8 years old. She became famous for appearing on the Lifetime reality show Dance Moms and became one of the most popular characters. When she wasn't appearing on that show, she was starring in various music videos for performer Sia. These include Chandelier and Elastic Heart, and both were huge successes, accumulating over 3.8 billion YouTube views. But dancing is far from her only talent, and she's also appeared in film, television, and concerts. Maddie has appeared on magazine covers and in print ads for Capezio, Ralph Lauren, Target, and other big brands. For 3 years in a row, from 2015 to 2017, she made the list of Time magazine's 30 most influential teens. In 2017, she released her memoir, The Maddie Diaries, which made it onto the New York Times bestseller list. Not only has her career been lucrative, but it's made her incredibly popular. Currently, she runs an Instagram account with more than 11 million followers. As you know, all of those clicks can translate into big bucks, and they definitely have for Maddie. Her impressive fortune is over $2.5 million and is continuing to grow. Royal children. Although it will be a long time before they're ready to take the throne, if they ever do, Prince George and Princess Charlotte won't ever have to work if they don't want to. The royal family has power, prestige, and of course, a ton of money. Their family's wealth is nothing to sneeze at, and the kids are entitled to their fair share of it, despite being incredibly young. In addition to their family's various income properties, there's also the hefty inheritance and allowances they'll be entitled to. Obviously, the royal children haven't yet received their income, but we can still calculate their net worth based on their value to the UK economy. It's estimated that Prince George is worth about $3 billion, but his sister Charlotte is worth even more. That's because, like her mother, she's a huge fashion icon despite her young age. The Charlotte effect is a real thing, and she's a huge driving force in the economy. As soon as she's spotted wearing an outfit, it's definitely going to sell out within moments. She's worth about $5 billion, and even her new baby brother Louis is no slouch. Within the first few weeks of his life, he was worth an estimated $70 to $125 million. Ryan. Some kids made their fortune simply from inheriting it, while others had to hustle. But Ryan made his wealth simply by doing what kids love to do best, playing. Ryan hosts a channel on YouTube called Ryan Toys Review, which is run by his family. When he was 4, he begged his parents to allow him to make his own show where he reviewed toys. They agreed, and 2 years later, he was one of the highest-earning YouTube stars around. In 2017, his YouTube channel generated approximately $11 million in pre-tax income. His channel has approximately 10 million subscribers and makes a solid $1 million simply in advertising each and every month. We all know there is a lot more work that goes into creating a YouTube show than just playing with toys. But considering the fact that Ryan could happily retire at the age of 6, we're going to say he might just have the best job possible. Sometimes it helps to have incredibly wealthy and famous parents in order to be successful, but other times all you need is a really great idea and the ability to pull it off. That's what Ryan did, and his channel is a huge success. Valentina Paloma Pino. Valentina Paloma Pino is the daughter of actress Salma Hayek and businessman Francois Henry Pino. She's just a kid, but it's safe to say she might be getting just a bit spoiled. Whether she's jetting off on Caribbean vacations with her parents or walking the red carpet, there's no doubt that this girl is set for life. When she was born, her mother briefly considered retiring from acting in order to concentrate on raising her daughter. However, Valentina's father encouraged her not to, which only further enhances Valentina's future inheritance. She's not her father's only child and will have to share with her 3 half-siblings from a previous marriage. However, those billions of dollars notwithstanding, she's already quite comfortable. Currently, she has a net worth of $12 million. Thanks to her famous and wealthy parents, she has her own sprawling estate in Los Angeles that's currently being held in a trust until she grows up. Not only is it worth millions of dollars, but it's being funded $50,000 per month by her generous and devoted father. She may decide to follow her mother into acting or her father into business, but even if she did nothing, she would still be set for life. Quvenzhané Wallis. Not only does Quvenzhané Wallis have an extremely profitable career at a young age, but it's been remarkably successful as well. She's perhaps best known for her role as Hush Puppy in the drama Beasts of the Summer Wild. For her performance, she was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress and became the youngest actress ever to be nominated. She was only 5 at the time and beat out 4,000 other children in order to earn the role. With those accomplishments under her belt, her career was off to an incredible start. A couple of years later, in 2014, she starred in the remake of Annie, and subsequently received a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actress in a Motion Picture Comedy or Musical. She's also had 2 books published, Shay and Emmy star in Break an Egg and A Night Out with Mama. Quvenzhané has quite an impressive net worth considering her young age, and as of right now, she's worth about $3 million. But considering how far she surpassed expectations in her career, we would be pretty surprised if she decided to stop anytime soon. Danielle Bregoli. Lots of people claim that Danielle Bregoli is famous for doing nothing, but while that's not strictly true, whatever she did also made her wealthy. She got her start by appearing on the Dr. Phil show with her mother, who was complaining about her bad attitude. She gained everyone's notice when she spouted her now famous catchphrase, "Cash me outside, how about that?" Instead of going out as nothing more than a meme, Danielle leveraged her fame and began getting paid to promote products on social media. She also parlayed her notoriety into a musical career, going by the stage name Bad Baby. Whether or not you're a fan of hers, there is no denying that she's managed to do well for herself, at least financially. She even became the youngest female rapper ever to appear on the Billboard Hot 100 chart when she released her single, These Hoes. She's managed to extend her 15 minutes of fame considerably, and now rakes in money from endorsements, merchandise, and her music. Right now, she's worth over $1 million, and doesn't seem to be slowing down. If she's smart, she can look forward to a wealthy and early retirement, as long as she stays out of trouble. Lil Tay. Another kid who has used social media to make their fortune is known as Lil Tay. This self-proclaimed youngest flexer of the century isn't shy about throwing around huge sums of money as if it's nothing. And yes, sometimes she literally throws it. Apparently, her career as a YouTube star was supported by her mother, Angela Tan. Unfortunately for Angela, this ended up with her getting fired from her actual job at a Vancouver-based real estate office. Pacific Place Group let her go because the office didn't want to be associated with her controversial daughter, Lil Tay. We don't know too much about Lil Tay, but according to her, she makes billions of dollars and could afford to buy her own country. We're assuming that's an exaggeration, but if Ryan from Toys Review can make $11 million a year, we're guessing Lil Tay is doing alright for herself. Hopefully, she's made enough to retire off of, since recently she's suddenly disappeared. Both her Instagram and YouTube accounts have been wiped clean, and many suspect that her mother's job loss may have been the catalyst. Only time will tell what happens to Lil Tay in the future, and if she returns to social media or decides to retire. Millie Bobby Brown. You probably recognize Millie Bobby Brown from her role as Eleven on the show Stranger Things. That role earned her a Primetime Emmy Award nomination for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series when she was only 13. Millie is also the youngest person to ever be featured on the Time 100 Most Influential People in the World list. She kicked off her acting debut in 2013 by guest starring on ABC's Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. She played young Alice, and then in 2014, she landed a starring role in the BBC America series Intruders. It seemed like she was getting roles left and right when she finally got her big break on the Netflix series Stranger Things. She also starred in the music video for Sigma and Birdie's single Find Me and began appearing in commercials for Citigroup. In 2017, she started modeling for Calvin Klein's By Appointment campaign and was quickly signed onto IMG Models. For Stranger Things alone, she was raking in $30,000 per episode, and that's not to mention all of her other work. All in all, Millie Bobby Brown is worth about $3 million currently. Do you think that these famous kids will retire in a life of luxury, or are they going to keep bringing home paychecks? Tell us what you think in the comments section, then click subscribe to get more videos from TheTalko. Thanks for watching.